how do you see this ending? It's likely that we know we're going to see these US trade tariffs on China take effect from in about 25 minutes from now. The China likely response to come through. What happens post that?
Well, I think the big problem has been, first of all, it's been hard for the Chinese side to understand what is the U.S. really looking for. And I think that the U.S. has given confusing signals at times. President Trump has talked a lot about the bilateral trade deficit. But if you look at the real foundation for these tariffs, it's an investigation by my old office, U.S. Trade Representative's office, talking about some Chinese trade practices that really, in the view of the United States, go against some of the fundamental assumptions of the World Trade Organization. And what I would liken it to is a game of football where one team on the field is expecting to play American football and the other team is expected to compete in the World Cup. You have very different rules, various different game plans. And in a way, that's what we're seeing in the way the U.S. and the Chinese economies compete with each other. And USTR is trying to get to the heart of some of those differences. And because China has shown that they don't want to change those elements of the system, I think many in the U.S. side think that actually negotiating with China on these issues would be a waste of time. And that's why we really don't see a serious discussion taking place between the two countries at this time on these issues.
Tim, do you believe, given your past experience here, that there are any backdoor channels that are open right now between the two countries doing any kind of last-minute, last-ditch, if you like, negotiations?
I don't think there are last-ditch negotiations going on. And the reason is because the real underlying problems are very complicated and very deep. The United States is concerned about China's reliance on industrial policies and strong state intervention in the economy in some very important leading technologies of the future. And China has indicated that they really don't want to talk about what they're doing in those sectors. They think their approach is working very well for them. They think it's very important to their long-term competitiveness that they continue those practices. And therefore, with respect to the issues that really matter, nobody on either side thinks that they can really make progress if they have a discussion on those points at this time. So my analogy is this: I think both sides are entering into a dark tunnel. The U.S. will show that it can inflict harm on the Chinese economy. The Chinese will show they can inflict harm on the U.S. economy. But we'll be in the dark tunnel for a while until the two sides start to think about what does the light at the end of the tunnel look like? What kind of solutions could arise that would allow our two somewhat incompatible economies to coexist and collaborate? And by the way, these are not just problems that the U.S. has with China. The Europeans, the Japanese, other advanced industrial nations are facing similar challenges. And everybody agrees on the challenges. What they don't agree on is what is the way out of this dark tunnel? What kinds of solutions could work for everyone involved?
Still watching? Perfect. Click here to watch another great video from CNBC International. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe. Thanks for watching.